Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to you. Either Ruth, hey Carl. Lee Levin is our davening partner on this Shabbat morning. Welcome to the Bima, Lee.
Good morning, everybody, on this auspicious day.
Auspicious day. We begin on page 6 with Ma Tovu whenever Lee is ready to begin.
Ma tovu lecho Yaakov, mishkanotecho Yisrael, va'ani berov chastecho, avod vehetecha, eshtacha el hekol kadshecho, biyirotecho. Adonai oavti meon beitecha, umikom mishkan kivodecha, v'ani eshtacha v'echra evrecho, livnei Adonai osi, v'ani tefilati, Lechol Adonai et ratzon, Elohim barov chastecha, aneni be'emet yishecha. Page 14, everybody, for the morning blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasach v'ivin alav v'chin benim aved lo.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shesani ben chorin. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shesani Yisrael. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher hechin mitzadei gover. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam atei Yisrael b'tifarav. Le'olam anoten le'ohev koach. Top of page 38. The Psalm for the Sabbath. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh, Shaboyo Lelivim Amarim Bevat Hamikdash, Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat. Bottom 4 lines, page 38. Tzadika tamar yifrach, keres ba'alvanon yizkeh, shetulim beveit Adonai bechatrot, Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenuvon b'sevav, deshenim v'rananim yehu le'agid, ki yeshor Adonai tzuri v'lo alvalatabo. Page 48, Baruch Shamar, Pesukah de Zimra. Baruch Shamar ve'olam, Baruch Hoseh v'reshit, Baruch Hozerem Kayem, Baruch Malchem al Briot, Baruch Elad v'kayim lanetzach. Baruch Shemo. Baruch atah Adonai l'melech haolam v'le'olam. Melech v'shabach u'mfarade ad shema gadol. Baruch atah Adonai. Melech mechulol batish bachot. Page 64. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. El bikacha hallelujah. Birkia uzo. Hallelujah. Ve'giverot hallelujah. Kerov gedulo. Hallelujah. Betechat shofar. Hallelujah. Benevel v'chinar. Hallelujah. Betofel machol. Hallelujah. Beminim v'yagav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, b'tziltzalei shamam. Hallelujah, hallelujah, b'tziltzalei truah. Kol neshama hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol neshama hallelujah, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai le'olam amen v'amen. Baruch Adonai Mitzion Shachin Yerushalayim, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim Elahei Yisrael, Seniflot Levado. Baruch Hashem Kavod Olam, V'yom Alei Kavod Et Kol Haaretz, amen. Amen.
Yeshkoach Lee Levin, thank you so much.
Give me a moment to get back to control.
Okay, as Lee is going back to his control, we will turn to page 88 as Cantor Gale continues with Shochein Ad. I'm waiting for Lee to get back to his Zoom controls. Okay,
Shabbat Shalom, friends.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shochein ad marom v'kadosh shemo.
Shochein ad maharon v'kadosh shemo.
בפי שערים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש.
ומקהלות בלבבות עמך בית ישראל.
שכן חובת כל יצורים לפונך, אדוני אלוהינו ולבותינו, להודות, להלל, לשבח, לפועל רומם, להדר, לברך, להלל ולקלס, על כל דברי שירות. שירות ותשבחות על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות דוד בן ישי עבדך משיחך ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו. שירוש והלל וזמרה, עוז וממשלה, נצח גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות, ברכות והודות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך גדול ותשבחות, אל ההודות אדון הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אלוהי העולמים.
90.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
בעלמא דברך ירותי מלך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחייך בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך, La'olam u'lamei amayim, Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויפוע ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לי אלא מכל בקעת ושאלתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בהולמה ואמרו אמן.
We please rise for the Baruch Hu, which is on page 92. Just one second. You may be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or u'borei choshech oseh shalom u'borei et hakol.
Page 94.
Hakol yoducha ein kadosh k'Adonai. אין כאל ככבוד אלינו בעולם הזה ואין זולתך מלכנו לחיי העולם הבא אפס בלתך גואלנו לימוד המשיח ואין דומה לך מושיענו לתחיית המתים.
Eladon is on page 96.
אלאדון על כל המעשים ברוך ומבורך בפי כל נשמה גודלו וטובו מלא עולם דהרו נעשו ובמותו המתגאה על חיות הקודש ונדל בכבוד על המרכבה זכות ומישור לבני חיסו חסד ורחמים לבני כבודו טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ובהשכל כוח וגבורה נתן בהם להיות מושבים בקרב תבל מלאים זיו ומפיקים נוגה והזיבם בכל העולם שמחים וצאתם וששים בבואם עושים בימה רצון קונם פיר וכבוד נודנים לשמות צלה ורינה לזכר מלכותו קרא לשמש ויזרח אור ראה והתקין את צורת הלבנה שבח נודנים לו כל צבא מרום תפארת וגדולה שרפים ביופנים וחיות הקודש לאל אשר שבעת מכל המעשים ביום השביעית עלה וישב על כיסא כבודו תפארת עתה ליום המנוחה. נתברך מושיענו על שבח מעשיך ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארך צלם. תתברך צורנו מלכנו וגואלנו בורא קדושים.
102.
כולם אהובים כולם ברורים כולם גיבורים וכולם עושים בימה וביראה רצון קונם וכולם בודקים את פיהם בקדושה ובטהרה בשירה ובזמרה ומברכים ומשבחים ומבארים ומרגשים ומקדישים ומריצים ומקדישים וממליכים
את שם האל המלך הגדול הגבור הנורא הקדוש הוא
וכולם מקבלים עליהם אוי על מלכות שמיים זה מזה ונותנים רשות זה לזה להקדיש ליוצרם בנחת רוח בשפה ברורה ונימה קדושה כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה קדוש
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ כבודו.
כבודו ויופנים בחיות הקודש ברעש גדול מתנעשים ליום השרפים ליומתם משבחים ואומרים
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ברוך נימות איתנו.
נימות איתנו.
ותופעות גדולות עושה חדשות בעולם.
המחדש בטובו בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית, כאמור יעשה אורים גדולים כי לעולם חסדו חדש על ציון תאיר, אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה ליורו, מהרה ליורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצא המאורות.
Amen. Ahava Rabbah 106.
אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה מטבע, חמלת עלינו. אבינו מלכנו, בעבור אבותינו, שבטחו בך, אבינו מלכנו. ותלמדם חוקי חיים, כן תכוננו תלמדנו, אבינו ברחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו, ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות, ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה, והאר עינינו בתורתך, דבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, כי לשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו, נגילה ונשמחה,
נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. 108.
ויביאנו לשלום יבא כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו, כי אל פועל ישועות אתה. ובאנו בחרת מכל עמי ולשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלם ימד, להודות לך ולייחד לך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Amen.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך ויהיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. היין שמות תשמעו אל מצוותיי אשר נותנים את צוואתכם היום. ועבדו בכל לבבכם בכל אשר נתתם בארץ מצוותיך עשר בסדך.
Page 114.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורתם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת והיה לכם בציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תדורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
116.
אמת ויציב ונכון וקיים וישר ונאמן ואהוב וחביב ונחמד ונעים ונורא והדיר ומתוקן ומקובל וטוב ויפה לדור ודור שמו קיים וגיסו נכון ומלכותו ואמונתו ליד קיימת קיימים ימנים ונחמדים לעולמי עולמים. אמת שאתה ורנה לב לבתנו מלכנו מלך אבותינו גואלנו לבתנו יוצרנו צור ישועתנו פודנו ומצילנו מעולם שמך אין אלוהים זולתך.
Let's read responsively on page 119, Ezrat Avotenu. You have ever been the help of our ancestors, a shield and a redeemer to their children in every generation. Happy is the person who obeys your commandments, who takes to heart the words of your Torah. You are the first and you are the last. Besides you, we have no sovereign or redeemer. You revealed your saving power at the sea, when the children of Israel passed through in safety. Therefore, they praised and extolled you. They offered you prayers of fervent thanksgiving. You humble the haughty and raise up the lowly. You free the captives and redeem the weak. When they cry out to you. 120.
משה ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך ואלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה שירה החדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Please rise.
צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובדי חנומך, יהודה וישראל. גואלנו, אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוכת אדוני, גאל ישראל.
122.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומדיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך. ויקרא זה אל זה ויאמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ כבודו. יום זעוז אז בכל רעש גדול, אז בכל רעש גדול אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מתנשאים לעומת צרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומך מלכנו. תופיע ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון, בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון, תתגדל ותתגדש בתוך ירושלים עירך לדור ודור לנצח נצחים. ויעננו תירנה מלכותך כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד קודלך לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד קודלך היו לנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש קדושתך נקדיש נשיבך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד קודלך לדור ודור לדור ודור לדור ודור נגיד קודלך אל מלך גדול קדוש אתה וקדוש אתה אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Kadi Shalem is on page 136.
יתקרא ויתקרא שמל הבא.
Amen.
יאמר יברך ולבלק מלכו לברך ויאמר בית ישראל באגד זמן קריב אמרו אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה.
יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרום ויתנשא וידבר וידבר שמי לקודשה. בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחה בנחמתה דאמרן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. תתגבר צלות ההון ותנתן לישראל כל דמעה ושמעיה ויאמרו אמן. ישלם ושמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom l'kulam. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Boker Tov. So great pleasure to be with you on this morning, this special morning on which we honor our Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Brief, for his 50 years in the community. It's been a long time since he has been in the sanctuary, and as Deborah, his daughter, and Bruce Hoffman, son-in-law, bring him in, we say Baruch haba Rabbi Brief, who's coming in the back right now. Baruch haba. Baruchim habaim. We have Rabbi Brief's tallis has been in the same place for the last a long time, and it's nice. Rabbi Brief will be donning that tallis once again in the regular spot. And I just asked Bruce a moment ago, "Where's your father-in-law?" And I should have known that he was welcoming people at the door, as is his custom. So shkoch. Our Torah service begins on page 180.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום על הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון תבנה חומות ירושלים תבנה חומות ירושלים תבכה לבד בתחנו
We rise.
מלך אל רמה ונישא אדון עולמים וימצא אהרון ויאמר משה קומה אדוני ויפוצו אויביך וינוסו משנאיך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Bei Ana Rachet, middle of 184.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adoneinu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadol Adonai iti u'neramema, Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai ha'gerura, ve'ha'gerura, ve'ha'tiferet, ve'hanetzach, ve'ha'od, ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Adonai ha'mamlecha, ve'amid na'aseh lechol rosh, romimu. Adonai Eloheinu, v'yishtachavu le'adon raglav, kadosh romimu. Adonai Eloheinu, v'yishtachavu le'har kodisho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, ki ein chayenu yoret yameinu, u'bahem yomam v'layla, ki ein chayenu yoret yameinu, u'bahem yomam v'layla, ki ein chayenu yoret yameinu, u'bahem yomam v'layla, ki ein chayenu yoret yameinu, u'bahem yomam v'layla.
Thank you, Joel. Please be seated. As I mentioned earlier, we have, just like last night, we have a few folks who will share some thoughts, reflections, words of tribute two for Rabbi Brief for all of our benefit. So I first call forward our dear friend, and among other things, our Baal Zoom, Mr. Lee A. Levin.
The name, Ed Asner, Barbara Harris, Stiller and Mira, and added to that list, Rabbi Neil Brief. It's true. A long line of people who started the Playwrights Club at the University of Chicago, which became the Compass Players with a man by the name of David Shepard. And how does this tie in with Neil Brief? Well, Neil, Rabbi, you have a long history. In fact, this is the way I actually met Rabbi Brief. We were part of the Improv Olympic, the IO. I was working out of Second City, teaching improv, and David Shepard had his second great idea. Besides the Compass Players, he thought, why not have the Improv Olympic where people and groups of people could compete, like groups of nuns, or a group called Acting Up, or in this case, a team of rabbis, of which Neil Brief, Rabbi Brief, was part of the illustrious God Squad. It was a collection of rabbis, those coming from the Orthodox, Reconstructionists, remember Arnie Rockless, and others who were part of that team. And here I am, a young man in my 20s, and I got all these rabbinic legends in front of me. I worked for the Jewish Federation, so it fell upon me to direct and teach improv to people who were natural speakers. I was very excited about it. This is the way I met Rabbi Brief. So he has a very long history in the community. This is a story of which none of you knew. So competition time, the first International Olympics at Second City was competed with Acting Up and the God Squad. They were such great innovators, the rabbis, that they took first place because they knew how to play the game. That's how we taught. You played a game that Viola Spolin had invented, and that game you always played to win. Rabbi Brief, you have always been a big part of our family. My daughter, who is in Maryland, wishes you great things for your future. My wife, too. And thank you for teaching us and everybody here how to win. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lee. I did not know that story. It's true. I feel a little badly for the nuns. I'm sure they got over it. Friends, our Torah portion is Parshat Noach, and we're beginning at chapter 11 of Noach on the following pages of our various Chumashim and Tanachim in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, page 58, chapter 11. Okay. And in the Hebrew English Tanakh, for those of you at home who have that, page 19, and the Hertz Chumash, Sadsino published Hertz Chumash, page 38. Once again, Genesis 11, 58, 19, the Hebrew English Tanakh, and Hertz, page 38. As I said, we're beginning with chapter 11, which is the beginning of the Tower of Babel story. And some interesting commentary on that. This is an opportunity this is an opportunity. It shows an early opportunity for humans to do what they can do or might do with technology, build things, make bricks, as we learn, not just natural stones that we find in the ground or on wherever in valleys or wherever, but actually to produce something, to manufacture bricks and to build something. And they could have gone in so many different directions. They could have said, let's build an orphanage, let's build a community center, let's build a soup kitchen, whatever it is. Let's build a school for children. But what did they do? They decided to build for themselves a name. Pride was what motivated them here. And this is our constant struggle and conflict with our technology, how to use it in order to upbuild our society in positive ways. Think, by the way, infrastructure, right? And doing it for the benefit of the greatest number of people for good reasons, for reasons that can actually help us operate and function as a decent and holy society, as opposed to using it for bad reasons, which in a sense bring us more into our own selves. Even though it was a communal effort, they were really seeking a name. They were motivated by overweening pride, as they say. And so may we, in our building, just like we have built this great place, because our building is both spiritual and physical, structural, may we always build for good purposes and use our technology, which has become so enormously powerful, for good purposes as well. Our reading of Torah, once again, chapter 11, the first reader of Torah, the laner, is Joel Cohen. So thank you so much, Joel, and I'll ask Cantor Gail to call up me and Julie Chiswer-Weil for the first Aliyah La Torah.
יעמדו הרב בנימין, הרב חיים בנימין בן דוד ואסתר שושנה בת חיים ודינה לאה ראשונה. Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'anim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai notei haTorah.
Amen. Vayehi chol haaretz safa echat udvarim achadim. Vayehi benasa mikedem vayimtzu vika be'eretz shinar vayeshvu sham vayomru ish el re'ehu hava nilvana levenim v'nas refa lisrefa vati lahem halavena le'aven v'hacham chemar Haya lahem lachomer vayomru ava nivne lanu ir umigdal rosho bashamayim bina aselanu shem penafutz al pnei chol haaretz.
Asher nasa lanu Torah be'et
But before we call it, we're very pleased that Adam Rudenberg is here for the second Aliyah La Torah. He has recently returned from hiking the long Vermont Trail, correct? Yeah. That's 272 miles, and you went from north to south or south north? South to north. Border to the Canada border. From all the way up to the Canada border, 272 miles. In how long did it take you?
34 days total.
In 34 days. It's a very, very productive Tishrei, I would say. A very productive way to spend that time, and 272 miles in honor of Rabbi Brief. The good word for 272? Well, yeah, I was thinking in Hebrew, for 272, ayin, resh, bet. 272, Erev, like the evening. And thank you very much, Rabbi Brief. If Rabbi Brief says Tov Ma'od, then I'm very happy. So Adam, for an evening is a wonderful concept. In Judaism, it is both a beginning and an end. It is the beginning of a day and the end of a day as well. So just like your hike, your massive hike, a wonderful, impressive accomplishment, was a completion of something. May it also be the beginning of something as well. And I hope that it was and I'm sure it was, a time of great meaning and productive thinking, spiritually, emotionally, physically as well. And I look forward to learning more about it. I'm very, very impressed by that. So yesher koach. Before the blessing, I'll ask Adam to do the Gomel prayer for the return, and that is on page 585. Just give us one moment, 585 in our book, so we can respond appropriately to this prayer after going through some sort of journey or some kind of event and coming out safely on the other side. So Birkat Gomel, middle of 575, and then we respond at the end.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hagomel l'chayavim tovot, shegemalani kol tov.
Mishmacha kol tov hu yigomacha kol tov selah. May God, who bestowed every kindness upon you in the past, Adam, ever bestow kindness and blessing upon you in the future. And we all say, Amen. Amen. Ya'amod Adam ben Reuven Halevi v'Chana l'Aliyah Shniya. Larry Sklar is our Torah reader.
Baruch Adonai Borach.
Baruch Adonai Borach Olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Borach Olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. V'yeher Adonai lirot et ha'ir v'et hamigdal asher banu b'nei Adam. V'yomer Adonai hena ham echad v'safa achat lekulam v'zeh hechilaham lasot v'ata lo yivatzer mehem kol asher yazmuhu lasot hava nerdah v'navla shaham sfatam asher lo yishma'uhu safat re'ehu v'yafetz Adonai otam misham al pnei kol ha'aretz v'yachtaluhu lifnot ha'ir akein kara hashama bavel ki b'shem balahal Adonai tzfat kol ha'aretz umisham Efitzaham Adonai al pnei kol haaretz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeshua.
Today's also the 11th anniversary of Adam's bar mitzvah.
And it's the 11th anniversary of Adam's bar mitzvah. Okay, so thank you so much for reminding, and Mazel Tov, Rob and Amy as well. So Yeshua, Adam. You can say we'll do a Mishnah Berach before we continue. Prayer of healing. Mishnah Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah V'yivarech v'yirpei et ha'cholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal the following: Susan Sheba, Bluma Sarah bat Rivka, Miriam Gila bat Dinachaya, Shmarian Grossman, Chava bat Yehudit, Josh Little, Helen Risky, Tomas Omasta, Bela Leah bat Simagittel, Malka Leah bat Rivka Devora, Ivan ben Alexandra, Evelyn Goldberg, Shimon ben Mina, Shlomo ben Hasia, Shani Lichtenstein, Fred Siegel, Be'er Gedalia ben Brindle, Sabine Gorg, Emily Dana, David Dana, George Masters, Bernie Berg, Leah bat Rivka, Nachman Mordechai ben Miriam, Danny Moore, John Jadinger, Marty Lubowicz, Ken Lubowicz, Frank Huck, Joy Hennig, Benjamin Medina, Joanne Alberstein, Daniel Golinia, Neil Gottlieb, Jerry Gross, Ronia Gross, Ryan Gordon, Ellen Clouden, Yussel Ben Gertrude. Are there others to add for our healing prayer at this time?
I'll need the book for the blessings, yes. Can you turn me around? Jack, can you turn me around for the blessings? I just want to add some names. Can you turn me around? Yes.
It's David. From the internet, Joel Farber, Jenny Eisman, Oscar Ramos, Jason Milstein, Phyllis and Ted Borkin, Robin and Stu Lazarus, Shelley Pestine, everyone suffering from COVID, Judith Jadinger.
Yes, for Betty Saltzman, for Herb Slomowitz, Ronnie Hella, and Father Thomas Bama. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Others?
Good.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Imalei Rachamim Aleihem. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for them. May their health be restored and their strength revived. May God send them a swift refuah, shlema, a full healing of body and of spirit. And we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Yes, but
For our third
in
Aliyah,
a little while.
La Torah, very pleased to have on the bima Deborah and Bruce Hoffman, daughter and son-in-law of Rabbi Brief. Ya'amdu Devora bat Harav Noach v'Chava v'Baruch ben Meir v'Rivka l'Aliyah Ashlishit. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. Ele toldot shem b'ma'at shana v'yoled et arpachshad shnatayim achar hamavuv v'yichi shem acharehi holido et arpachshad chamesh ma'ot shana v'yoled banim ubanot Ba'arpachshad chai, chamesh u'shloshim shana, vayoled et shalach, vayechi arpachshad, acharehi holido et shalach, shlosha hashanim, v'arba'a ma'ot shana, vayoled banim u'banot.
Amen.
Yeshikochem. Thank you so much. Yeshikoch, Larry, Slor as well. Before our maftir, let's cover that up and we'll do a Chatzi Kaddish. Yit Gedal v'Yikeda Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yalmad Yivrach Yirotei v'Yamlich Malchutei v'Chayechon uv'Yomechon uv'Chay Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uv'Izman Kariv v'Imru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach La'alam u'Lamei Almaya
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitdaleh, v'yithalal, shmei dekudasha, brichu, le'ela min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushbichata, v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. I'll ask Cantor Gale to call up our Rabbi Emeritus, the man of the hour, Rabbi Neil Brief for the Maftir Aliyah.
Ya'amod, 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 Harav Morenu Noach ben Chaim u'Bela, Lalila Maftir.
Dory Wolgel is our Torah chanter for the Maftir portion.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher acharbanu le'avodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. ויקח אברהם ונחור להם נשים, שם אשת אברהם שרי, ושם אשת נחור מלכה, בת הרן אבי מלכה ואבי יזכה, ותהי שרי עקרה, אין לה ולד. ויקח תרח את אברהם בנו, ואת לוט בן הרן בן בנו, ואת שרי כלתו אשת אברהם בנו. ויצאו איתם מאור כשדים, ללכת ארצה כנען, ויבואו עד חרן וישבו שם, ויהיו ימי תרח 5 שנים ו200 שנה, וימות תרח בחרן.
Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. Shkach.
Baruch Yeh.
Please rise. And Erdos will be our lifter of Torah. Do you want to call him up?
Ya'amod Hagba, Ya'amod Lila. Torah asher שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. Torah, Torah, Torah,
Torah, Torah, Torah.
ציווה לנו משה.
Torah, 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 Torah. Torah tziva lanu Moshe.
Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah.
Yes, I've got 'em.
Tziva lanu Moshe.
You got the big book?
Morasha kehilad
I can do this.
Yaakov.
Debbie, I can
Morasha
follow. Can you give me this book?
Yaakov. Morasha kehilad Yaakov. Torah tziva lanu Moshe.
Please be seated.
194.
We have a wonderful trio presenting Haftarah, Rabbi Brief and Dr. Fred Huss and Dr. Alan Harris. Just like Adam, this is their bar mitzvah portion. And so the Haftarah for Parshat Noach is on the following pages in the Eitz Chaim Chumash 65, in the Hebrew English Tanakh, JPS Hebrew English Tanakh 972, a good area code, 972, and the Hertz Chumash page, this can't be right. I wrote 4, but that absolutely cannot be right. Maybe 44, but those of you who have the Hertz Chumash, look for Isaiah 54 right after what we were reading. It's just one part that is just so beautiful, it's hard not to take a close look at it. If you want to take a look at verse 7, this is Isaiah 54, also known as 2nd Isaiah. Verse 7 and 8, we'll just do it, well, just take a look first, the Hebrew, Berega Katon, Rega, that's the word, that's the word, we know Rega, this is just for a little while, Katon, small, for a little while I forsook you. So God is saying, I did forsake you, I turned from you, but with vast love, which is not Ahava Rabbah here, but Rachamim Gedolim, great Rahmanas, great love and compassion, I will bring you back. And then a parallel phrase, in slight anger, God is talking to the people of Israel, in slight anger, just for a moment, Ketzef, I hid my face from you, but with kindness everlasting, also a beautiful phrase, with kindness everlasting, I will take you back in love. Uve chesed olam, with an eternal love. So it's really beautiful imagery, and this is like, as we continue with verse 9, like the waters of Noah. This is the connection to the Parsha. Whereas the waters of Noah, after the flood, the Mabul, God promised, I, in a sense, rejected humanity with this great destruction, but I will never do that again. And the Keshet, the rainbow, is an example of that. So Isaiah is saying something similar. Yes, I rejected you because of how you have been acting, but I will always, always take you back with an Ahava Rabbah, with an abundant love and an Ahavat Olam, an eternal love that you will always be. I will always take you back because that is the nature of the covenant. That is the nature of the Brit. I will, while there might be distance at times, there will always be closeness and nearness to God soon. And so, our Haftarah presented by Rabbi Brief, Alan Harris, Fred Huss. Who's doing the book?
Beginning with the blessings before the Haftarah on page 194. As I recited them 74 years ago, October the 18th, 1947, the week that the Dodgers lost the World Series to the Yankees. That Monday, and the headlines in the New York Daily News was, "Wait till next year, L'Shana Haba." L'Shana Haba b'Yerushalayim, not only on Yom Kippur, but also on Pesach, and a hope and a prayer as we reach out to one and all, thinking about Jewish history then as well as now, and may we continue to make it as we live it, day in and day out. Page 194, excuse me that I'm sitting, but I'm comfortable right now to be where I am, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. And I'm delighted that Dr. Harris will recite chapter 54 and Fred Huss 55. 54 and 55 add up to 109. And the good word for 109 is what we're praying for the White Sox. Rebounding. 109, okay? That's enough gematria. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem anemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Dr. Harris.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Rabbi Brief, for inviting me to participate in your special Shabbos, and to you and Fred for allowing me to share your Haftorah. It's actually not my Haftorah, it's my granddaughter Noah's Haftorah, but I think it's actually also one of the wild daughters' Haftorahs, if I remember correctly. Is it Ruthie? Or Betsy, I probably have it wrong. Anyway, thank you so much. Rani akara lo yavada Kusirino v'tzali v'chala ki rabim b'nei shomayma v'b'nei b'uva mar Adonai harchivi makom olech v'yiriot mishkanotayich yatu al takshichi harichi metzorayich v'saraseich chazeki Ki aminu shemal tifrotzi, v'zarech goyim yirash, v'arim neshamot yoshivu, al teri ki lo tevoshi, al techomi ki lo takfiri, ki voshech alumayech tishkachi, v'cherpaso u'menasayech lo tiskriod, ki volayech osayech, Adonai Zavo Shemo, V'go alei Kadosh Yisrael, Elohei kol haaretz yakorei, Ki kisha zuva, V'atzuvas ruach kiriach Adonai, V'yeshet neurim, Ki timoes omar Elohayech, V'rega katon azavtich, V'rachamim gedolim achabatzech, B'shesef kesef, Histarti po'enoi rega mimech, V'chesed olam rachamtich, Omar go alecha Adonai, Ki mei Noach zozvi, Asher nishbati me'avor mei Noach, Ora ha'oretz ke nishbati, V'ksos olayach u'migarbach, Ki he'arim yomushu, V'hagivietu mutena, V'chasdi meitech lo yamush, V'rei shalom lo tamud, Omar merachamecha Adonai, Ani aso harano lo nechama, Dinei anochi marbis bafuach abanayich, V'sarasik b'safarim, V'samti kad kochim sasayich, V'shorayich levnei ekdach, V'chol gevelech levnei chefetz, V'chol banayich lemudei Adonai, V'rav shalom bonayich, V'tzedek hakotik noni, Rakachi me'oshech ki lo tirahi, V'mchita ki lo tikra ve'loyech, Din go yagur, efesh meosi, migori tachal vaychifo. Hine anochi borasi chorash, nofeach be'esh pechom, umutzi kavi v'masehu v'anochi, v'asim ashis v'chabeo, kol kavi, utzar alayich lo yitzvach, v'chol vashon, v'akum v'minchol v'mishpat tarshi, so snakavat, Avdei Aronoi v'sukatom, Ve'itinu Aronoi.
It's wonderful to be able to join such a distinguished group of people up here to say this Haftorah. This happens to be my 60th anniversary.
Mazel tov.
And in here, I found about 3 months ago my Maftir Haftorah portion that I read, and my mom kept it, and all the markings of the portions that I did are in here, and the record is gone somewhere. The vinyl record is lost to the ages. Hoy kol samei lechul amayim basher ein lo gaser lechu shivru ve'echalu lechu shivru v'lo cheser v'lo mechir yayin v'chalav lama tishkelu cheser v'lo lechem v'gi'achem v'lo lisav'ah Shim'u shamoa elai v'ichluto v'tidanahag badeshen nafshechem hatu aznechem ulchu elai Shim'u udchi nafshechem ve'echreta lachem berit olam kazdei David hane'emanim ein elumim nitativ Nagid tzaveh leumim, ein goy lo teda tikra, vegoy lo yoducha elecha yarutzu, leman Adonai Elohecha, lelikdosh Yisrael, ki yarach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol olamim, tzadik b'chol hadorot, Oel hane'eman ha'omer v'yoseh, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. נאמן אתה הוא, אדוני אלוהינו, ונאמנים דבריך, ודבר אחד מדבריך, אוכל לא ישוב ריקם, כי אל מלך נאמן ורחמן אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני. אוהל הנאמן בכל דבריו, רחם על בית, רחם על ציון, כי בית חיינו, ולעלוות נפש תושיע, במהרה בימינו, ברוך אתה אדוני, ושמח ציון בבניה. שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו, באליהו נביא עבדך, ומלכות בית דוד משיחך, במהרה יבוא ויגל ליבנו, על כיסו לא ישב זר, ולא ינחלו עוד אחרים את כבודו, כי בשם קודשך נשבעת לו, שלא נבוש שלא יכבה נרו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני. מגן דוד על התורה ועל עבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתפרשים לך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד, Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Simin Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simin Tov. Simin Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov and Simin Tov. Simin Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov and Simin Tov. Yehelanu, 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 U'lechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, U'lechol Yisrael. Yehelanu,
What's that, David?
Yehelanu, U'lechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Lechol Yisrael. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. And Yesher Kochachem, Doctors Harris and Huss as well. Thank you so very much. After our prayer for the state of Israel, we'll invite Rabbi Victor Weisberg forward to share some words as well. But first, the prayer for the state of Israel. Today is Esther Berman's birthday, and Esther, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself, Esther, if you'd like to read the prayer for the state of Israel?
Yes. Can you manage it?
Okay, well, in honor of Esther's birthday, and Esther's also being honored, along with Marlene Kaplan, by Hadassah this Thursday night, so Mazel Tov to you, Esther, and Yesher Koch to you, Roger. We turn to the inside back cover for the prayer for Medinat Yisrael. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael V'Golo, Barech Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagein Alecha, Be'evrat Chestecha, Ufros Alecha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha B'mitcha Lorsh'echa, Sarecha B'yotzecha, V'taknei Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, Chazek et Yidei Miginei Eretz Kochenu, V'han Chilem Elochenu Yeshua, V'ateret Nitzachon Ta'atreim, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshvecha, V'nomar, Amen. Our Father in heaven, Rock and Redeemer of the people Israel, bless the state of Israel with its promise of redemption. Shield it with your love, spread over it the shelter of your peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and your truth. Help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them, crown their efforts with triumph. Bless the land with peace, and its inhabitants with lasting joy. And let us say, Amen. Thank you so much. Rabbi Victor Weisberg.
A few years ago, two of my friends and colleagues retired at the same time. One was Rabbi Fred Schwartz, alav shalom, and one was Neil Brief. And the president of the Chicago Board of Rabbis called on me to bestow a gift, a retirement gift from the Board of Rabbis on two of my beloved colleagues. And these were the words that I spoke. Rabbi Fred Schwartz, he introduced Tamar to me, by the way, always had a book in his hand. It was Malbin, it was Rambam, it was Yehuda Halevi, and Neil Brief always had a book in his hand. It was the telephone book. Because he knew everybody's number. And as you saw, when somebody asked him about the numbers, and he talked about the White Sox, alav shalom, you don't give up 9 walks and think you're going to win. Rabbi Brief had this particular shtick, if you will, about gematria. But his thing with gematria was he found something good in everybody when asked about them. There was something compassionate, loyal, kindly, understanding, generous. He had the numbers on all of us. Besides our birthdays and anniversaries and our children's birthdays and their B'nai Mitzvah, he had everybody pegged, and he always had something good to say about them by the numbers. And we should remember that in a world where there's less kindness and more confrontation, that Rabbi Brief always sought to bring us together. He sought to make us laugh, he sought to make us proud, he sought to make us loyal Jews, he sought to represent his beliefs in a very high manner, and we're glad that he's with us at this time and at all times. His past, his present, and we believe his future. I'm not sure what the number is, Neil. You'll find out and you'll tell me the number. But I'm not for numbers, by the way. But we know that he has our number in mind, and he has our number at heart. And he always seems to find something good about us. Kain Yirbu.
Yeshkoch, Rabbi Weisberg, thank you so much, beautiful. And we mentioned Rabbi Fred Schwartz, Alav Shalom, and welcome, of course, Roberta Schwartz is with us as well, Rebbitzin, and scholar in her own right, Roberta Schwartz, so Rucha Haba'ah, Roberta Yeshkoch. We turn now to page 204 for Ashrei.
אשרי יושבי ביתך עוד יהללוך סלם.
אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שנראה אלוהיו.
תהילה לדוד ארומימך אלוהי המלך ויברך שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך ולשמך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד ולגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור שבח מעשיך גבורותיך יגידו.
הדר כבודך ודברי נפלותיך עשיך.
זוז נורותיך יאמרו וגדלתך אספרנה.
זכר רב טובך יביאו וצדקתך ירננו.
חנוב רחום אדוני ערך אפיים ודה חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו גבורתך ידברו.
והודיע לבני האדם גבורותיו וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים זוקף לכל הכפופים.
הנה כל אלה יסברו ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו.
פותח את ידיך משביע לכל חי רצון.
פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון יראיו יעשה ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני ירוק את כל אוהביו ואת כל רשעים ישמיד.
תהילת ידבר אדוני ידבר פיו ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם.
Please rise.
הללויה. יהללו את שם אדוני כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו על ארץ ושמיים וירם קרן ויעמו. תהילה לכל חסידיו לבני ישראל עם קרובו. הללויה הללויה. מזמור לדוד עבור אדוני בנרים עבור אדוני כבוד ועוז עבור אדוני כבוד ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד העירים. אדוני על מים רחבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים וישבר אדוני אל ארזי הלבנון. וירתידם כמו עגל לבנון וציון כמו בן רעים. כל אדוני חוצב לעבודש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני חולל הגלות, ויחשוב יערות, ובכלות כולו, כולו אומר כבוד, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישכב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו לשלום. ובנוחה יאמר יצחיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומך מאושר ברכה וחנועם בכל נתיבותיה. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשוב. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו.
Amen indeed. Please be seated. It is my great pleasure to call forward a Bat Kihila, daughter of this community, Deborah Hoffman.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to Ezra Havonim and EHNTJC for taking the time to honor my father, Rabbi Brief, for 50 years of service to the congregation. 50 years is a long time, and we are grateful and humbled by this honor. I am here today representing my sister, Dina, who also grew up here, and my brother David, as well as their families. And maybe by the end of the services, you will see our future family coming in. My nephew and his children hopefully will be here, and his wife, Noah. What a coincidence, here for Parshat Noah. So I wanted to first share some highlights of growing up in this wonderful community. In the beginning, Breshit, God created the heavens and earth, as we read in synagogue last week. 1971, arrival to Skokie. My first birthday party was just a few weeks after we arrived to Skokie, and I was 7 years old. And since I had no real friends yet, guess what? I had a surprise party with the congregants. A great moment indeed. Several of those attendees remained our lifelong friends and can be seen in my bat mitzvah and wedding photos. And I think there may be a few of you here today. Maybe, I think many of them have passed. 1970s, the B'nai Mitzvah. my sister Dina's bat mitzvah in the middle of the Yom Kippur War. I remember us sitting in services and having big radios outside listening to the front lines of what was going on. 1975, summer kickoff, my brother, David, had his bar mitzvah, and we were honored to have our visitors from the Netherlands, including great uncle Hugo. 1977, my bat mitzvah, yes, Rabbi's daughter, I confess, I was able to choose my week, and I did have my bat mitzvah not when my birthday was, but the same weekend as Hebrew school graduation, so that on Friday night of my bat mitzvah, we had more than 50 students here on the Bima, and I didn't have to go back to school on Monday because school was over. So one of the perks of being the rabbi's daughter. And then, of course, in the 70s, we had a lot of famous visitors: Jimmy Carter, Rabbi Meir Kahane, Elie Wiesel, and Mordechai Kaplan, who my father reminded me when I met him, trying to understand, that was 1973 when Mordechai Kaplan came. My dad said, he's a famous person. Again, I was pretty young. I said, if he's so famous, where are his bodyguards? So, and then of course, some not so exciting things, or horrible things actually. 1978, the Nazis tried to march in Skokie, and all the activities that went around that. Also the movie, the 1970, the movie Made About with Danny Kaye. My father was in there with him, kind of advising him on how to recite the Kaddish. And that was the 1970s for us. And then 1980s, our weddings. My sister Dina, 1984, my brother David, 1988, and mine, 1992. And I'm proud to be here today with my husband, Bruce Hoffman. We were married right here, so it's nice to be back. And then the 1990s saw the dispersal of our family. My sister Dina moved to Connecticut and now in Boston, my brother to Israel, and I live in Central Florida in the Lake Mary, not far from Disney. And then we moved to my dad's retirement in 2004, which we remember that was a glorious weekend. And then 1989 to the 2000s, really in our family, these were the years of movement and of increasing our family, of 10 grandchildren born to my parents and 4 great-grandchildren now. Another highlight, going into the 2000s, 2012, we welcomed Rabbi Weil and Julie and their lovely family to EHNTJC. And then, of course, 2014, we remember my mother's passing, and that was probably the last time I spoke up here. So we remember her for blessing. So when researching the appropriate words to talk about somebody after 50 years of service, I found something that said, can you connect the person's contribution to the organization's values? I know that sounds a little corporate, but I think it has some real significance for my father. And here are 7 ways that I can answer this question, embracing and echoing my father's values. 1, we value our children as our builders. As Talmud Brachot 64 says, do not call them your children, instead, banayich, call them bonayich, your builders. Ezra Habonim, look at that, the help of the builders. What an appropriate name for our synagogue community. So make your children your builders. And I'm happy to say that we are very active in building our community too, where we live now. Second value, bonds are stronger than presents. As my father says of former congregants, he calls them distinguished alumni, instead of saying they no longer belong to the congregation, always putting a positive spin. But those bonds, they span time and space. In fact, celebrating my parents, was it their 50th anniversary? We were in Disney World and somebody recognized my father and pulled him into the parade, and we ended up taking pictures. It was somebody he knew from Skokie. So former congregants span space and time. My dad is the original social network established before Facebook, etc. And I really love the way that Rabbi Weisberg tied that in, that my father's book is the phone book, because he is tied to the phone book. He knows how to reach out and keep in touch and what we call continue the conversation. Dad remembers your birthday, your anniversary, when you first came to Skokie, your son's bar mitzvah, and so on. And he'll tell you the number of the day of the year and the significance. So that's the second value. Third value, greet and treat everyone equally. In Pirkei Avot it says, Shammai used to say, Make your study of Torah a fixed practice. Speak little, do much, and receive all people with good countenance. I think that speaks for itself. My parents they talked to everybody. They always talked to everybody. There was never any difference in how they talked to different people. 4, centrality of God in our lives. My dad's favorite line of the Adon Olam, Adonai li v'lo ira. God is with me, I will not fear. I once asked my parents what they do when they're flying and there's a lot of turbulence, and they said to me, we hold hands. So, 5, Israel. Israel is a part of who we are. And as you know, a lot of our life has revolved around Israel, many trips. My brother lives there. And so that is a core value of our family also. 6, memory of our history and our ancestors. The centrality of Skokie and remembering the Holocaust. And when asked how my grandfather, Herman Greenbaum, survived the Nazis, he would say, I kept my mind. And that is something that my dad is really working on, keeping his mind by writing and the constant presence of the memory of the Holocaust in all our lives, and my dad's commitment to writing daily reflections and remembering all of the family yurtzites. I can't emphasize that enough, how important that is to keeping memory alive. Number 7, there's only a few more. Value of positivity. Noah and the rainbow and the dove read in today's Parsha. Here we have a terrible disaster, but it ends with the rainbow and the hope for the future. And that's very much the way my father looks at everything, positive, trying to find the positive, find the good. He always says that to me because I'm the youngest child and I can complain and whine a lot. So, and one more for fun, the value of value. My dad's great interest and love for numbers, so that is the value and looking for the future. And lastly, as you know, I'm from Orlando, and in Orlando, we're also celebrating a 50-year milestone of the opening of Disney World. It's a really big deal, another reason for Disney to make up the revenue they've lost during the pandemic. But I just want to say that thank you for allowing me to share the magic of our lives here in Skokie with you as we honor Dad. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deborah. That was beautiful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And now another special treat. I invite forward our president of Men's Club, Henry Rosenbaum, with a message for this community. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come here.
It's my pleasure on my own behalf, as well as on behalf of the Men's Club and the village of Skokie, to be up here to recognize Rabbi Brief and his 50 years of service.
Why am I there?
The rabbi and I share my cousin, who became a rabbi and was in his class, and it was Rabbi Brief and a few others who helped him through rabbinical college, because he came from a home where they never saw the inside of a synagogue till he decided to become a rabbi. So we chit-chat once in a while about what we hear from Rabbi Ralph in Miami. I became a member of this congregation 4 years after Rabbi Brief. When we moved in, we visited a couple of different synagogues, and we were so impressed with his services, both up here and among the people in the congregation and such that we have been members. Now, numerologically, when we joined, you were here 4 times as long as I, but I think I'm catching up now, right? So in 4 years, you can give me an applause for my 50 years membership. The village of Skokie and Mayor Doosan proclaimed on Monday recognition of 50 years of service to the community as well as to the synagogue. So I'm going to read the proclamation. Whereas Rabbi Neil Brief overcame childhood improvement and developed his leadership skills by becoming president of the Brooklyn Brownsville Boys Club and coaching 2 club championship basketball teams, and whereas Rabbi Brief worked his way through New York University and Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion as a waiter, busboy, camp counselor, and by teaching religious school, and whereas Rabbi Neil Brief distinguished himself at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion through his study of numerology, which he later adapted to meet the needs of his congregation, and whereas Rabbi Brief served his country as an army chaplain by not only praying but also by counseling soldiers of all faiths and riding a 600-mile circuit throughout Arizona, thus rising to the rank of captain within 2 years. And whereas Rabbi Brief helped strengthen many of his congregants' marriages through his leadership in Jewish Marriage Encounter, and whereas Rabbi Brief brought Skokie clergy closer together through spearheading the creation of and serving as president of the Niles Township Clergy Forum, and whereas Rabbi Neil Brief has served as a tireless community volunteer with the Skokie Commission on Family Services, the Rotary Club, the United Way of Skokie Valley, and other service organizations. And whereas Rabbi Brief has always stood by those who were oppressed and through his congregational interfaith, political, and humanistic work, helped create our Skokie spirit and become the rabbi for our community. And whereas Rabbi Brief, trained as a Reform rabbi, is a member of the rabbinical organization of Judaism's Reform, Conservative, and Reconstructionist movements, and for 50 years led a Reconstructionist conservative congregation in Skokie. And whereas Rabbi Brief co-organized rallies drawing thousands of people to protest prejudice in our community, and whereas Rabbi Brief and his beloved wife, Erica, of blessed memory, raised 3 children, Dina, David, and Deborah, in Skokie, all graduates of Nile North High School, and whereas Rabbi Brief serves Ezra Habonim, the Niles Township Jewish Congregation, as Rabbi Emeritus. Now, therefore, I, George Van Dusen, Mayor of the Village of Skokie, on behalf of its elected officials, do hereby commensurate Rabbi Brief on his 50th anniversary, serving Ezra Habonim, the Niles Township Jewish Congregation, and our community. We wish you continued good health and happiness. Mazel tov. That's my addition. Passed the 4th day of October, that was last Monday, and signed by the mayor and the village clerk. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much, Henry Rosenbaum, not only reading the proclamation, but initiating the attainment of it. So thank you very, very much, Henry, and Mazel Tov, Rabbi Brief. We turn to page 280, Chatzi Kaddish, preceding our Musaf, Amidah, 280, and then the middle of 282.
יתקרב ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
בעלמא דיברך ירדי מלך מלכותי וחייכון ויומכון וגרו בית ישראל בעגל בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח מפה ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר וידייל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דהמירן בעולמה ואמרו
Amen.
Amen.
Please rise, middle of 282.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחי מתים אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם מכלכל חיים בחסד וחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו ישנה עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע ונאמנת לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים נעריצך ונקדישך כסוד שיח שרפי קודש המקדישים שמך בקודש ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו כבודו מלא עולם כבודו מלא מלא עולם משרף שועלים משרף שועלים זה לזה משרף שועלים משרף שועלים זה לזה היי 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 מקום כבודו לעומתם ברוך יום מהרו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו הוא יפן ברחמים ויחון עם יחד עם שמו ערב ובוקר בכל יום תמיד המים ביהבה, שמע אומרים, שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד הוא אלוהינו, אבינו, מלכנו ומושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו שנית, ברחמיו שנית, לעיני כל חי, לי, 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 ידה, לי, לי, ידה, לי, לי, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ודברי קודשך כתוב לאמור, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ושברך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, וקדוש אתה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen.
Kaddish Shalem is on page 260.
Yitkeral vitkedash shmelava, v'alma divrach chirut hei v'al mech malchut v'chaychun v'yomechun v'cheru beit Yisrael ba'agad zman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam u'le'olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yipa v'yitrom v'yinaseh v'yithadar v'yilal shmei dekudesha. Brief Juliela min kol bechal v'shirat hatush bechal v'nechmatad amiran v'alav yimaru amen. Titkabel tzolot dehon v'urhun dechol Yisrael kodam avun d'shmaya v'yimaru amen. Yeshalam v'jmai v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. Ose shalom b'yimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen.
Yeshkoach, Cantor may be seated. Is Joel Cohen here, or is Joel Cohen, Joel Farber, sorry, Joel. Sorry, Joel Cohen's already done his work. Okay, Joey Farber, are you unmuted?
Can you hear me?
We certainly can.
Can you hear me?
We certainly can.
I wanted to add a little story about Rabbi Brief and his outreach. Let's go to the 80s, the 1980s, the last half of the 1980s. I think most families in our congregation had a child at a university or a college in the Midwest. And it turned out that I have had a daughter that was at the University of Illinois. So my daughter Beth suggested that why doesn't the men's club with Rabbi Brief come down to the University of Illinois and everybody could mingle. So we did. I arranged for a minibus and I drove the bus and I had several people from the congregation. And what we did is we went to Hungarian on TUI and bought tons of corned beef, kosher corned beef, and kosher pastrami, and potato salad. And off we went to the U of I at Champaign-Urbana. And Beth had arranged for that we use the facilities of the Hillel Foundation. They had a wonderful dining room in the lower level. And so Rabbi Brief and the men's club were there, and so many people came up to visit with us, and especially Rabbi Brief. There were some people in the group that I don't think they had been in a synagogue since their bar or bat mitzvah. But it was a wonderful day down at the University of Illinois, Rabbi Brief, and thank goodness I learned how to drive a bus, little school bus on the way home. We got home about 11, 12 o'clock at night. And to my knowledge, that was the only time that any congregation had an outreach for college students. And I wanted y'all to know that the rabbi is not only a rabbi, he's a friend, and he loves whether you're in grammar school, Hebrew school, college, or you're working, he's for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the 3.5 minutes.
Thank you, Joey Farber. We appreciate it as well. Thank you so much. And now it is my great honor to call forward for announcements and some more. Past President, Chair of Ways and Means, who has done so much to make this day happen, Ada Rabinowitz.
Shabbat Shalom. I got to tell you, I am just so happy being here and sharing this day with you and the family. It's just a wonderful time for me and for all of us, I think. Anyhow, I usually talk before I talk, so that's what I'm going to do. I would like to quote my daughter, Stacy, Rabbi Brief. And Stacy says, "To know you is to love you." And you know, that's the truth. To know him is to love him. Everyone has talked so eloquently about you last night and today. They have said you are special, so kind, so considerate, so loving, so inclusive, so smart, so encouraging, so wonderful. And that's what I think, wonderful. But I'm not going to add to this. In fact, all I'm going to say is thank you. Thank you for making a difference to my family, to my synagogue, to our synagogue, and to our community. We love you, and I think you know it. And may you continue to inspire us for many, many years to come. Well, that was emotional for me. Anyhow, I wasn't here to speak about Rabbi Brief, but I couldn't help it. I'm here to tell you about our congregation and to thank our Rabbi Weil, for doing all the things he does, your wonderful sermons, our cantor Daniel Gale, who makes our services so special and so loving and beautiful, and all those who participated. The Torah team, the Haftorah team, you've heard their names many times. I want to also thank the participants who spoke about you. Rabbi Weisberg, Deborah, your daughter, Henry Rosenbaum, Joel Farber, Lee Levin. These were stories that were really so special that we should all remember, and I certainly will. And now for the reason I'm here. I'm here to tell you about this congregation. I'm here to tell you that we have daily minions, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. on Zoom, Saturdays, 8 p.m. on Zoom, Havdalah following services. Sunday, listen to this, it's not only on Zoom, it's in person. So if you want to see each other, come Sunday, 9:30, and pray with us. I'm going to say something I always say, and other people say, why do you do this at this time? I have to tell you that you can help us very much if you go on Amazon and you buy on Amazon. You can go to our email and you can go and on Smile, you press Smile, and we can gain from your participation. So please do that when you're buying from Amazon or any other company. And also, we also have jewel cards. I know you also know. I hope that you go and read our bites, because that tells you all the information you need. And also, if you're here, you get this brochure. So I don't have to repeat everything, but I do want to say a couple of things. I want to say our sisterhood is having a wonderful program for Book Month, and they're having Susan Van Dusen, who happens to be the mayor's wife. She wrote a really wonderful book, which I read, The Missing Hand. Also, the Men's Club is having Rabbi Victor Weisberg on Kabbalah. There's a wonderful live show from Israel. Read all about it. The Men's Club is having a program called Who Will Write Our History? The title is so engaging to me that I'm going to be at that meeting. And Rabbi Weil and Cantor Gale is going to start their classes. They're going to start their classes. So if you want to participate, please call the synagogue, go to the bite, do whatever you want in order to participate, because they're wonderful classes. And remember Jeff and Janice, October 22nd, and next Kolenu is November 5th. Well, that's what I had to say, but now I want to add just a couple of things. I want to add a couple of thank yous. I want to acknowledge Lee Levin, our Zoom expert. I want to acknowledge Jack Lawasser, who does so much for our Religious Services Committee. He's the chairman. Bill Gerber, who's part of the Religious Services Committee. He also greeted you today at the door. Jeff Sachs, our security advisor and officer. Francine Schumann, who sees that we have treats after all our services. And Davida Grossman, who did the flowers for today to make it a little more special. And if I left anyone out, I just want to thank all who participated. I thank you. We are a family. We help each other so that we all can be successful. Speaking of family, I can't leave this out. The Sisterhood is sponsoring the goodie bags today, and the Men's Club sponsored them yesterday. We appreciate the love and support from these men and women who are so caring and loving and giving. I didn't bring the book up with me, I meant to. Rabbi's tribute book was going to be distributed today. You all can pick one up. I wanted to thank Judy Frank, the co-chairman with me for the book, Debbie Rich, who did the typesetting and made the book so special. You will see it when you get it. And all of you who wrote these beautiful tributes in the book, you all are special. You make us feel so good. So thank you for your participation. I want you to take a book when you leave, get a goodie bag, and if you're in the audience on Zoom, you can call the office and pick up a book later on. And with that, I say to all of you, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Ada Rabinowitz. And the only one who is not yet thanked has been Ada Rabinowitz. So Ada, well, maybe I did, but I'm doing it again. Thank you so much, Ada, for everything that you're doing. Remarks, this is extended remarks from President Ed Cohen, who cannot be here with us today, but he's sending his love to Rabbi Brief and the family, and thanking everyone who made this all possible. They've all been thanked, including you, Ada. He wants to thank you especially, and our office team, and Judy, and others too. So thank you, and we continue now. Thank you, Rabbi Brief. Thank you. Ein Kelohenu is on page 262.
Ein Kelohenu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkenu, ein Gemokshienu, mi Elohenu, mi Adonenu, mi Kemalkenu, mi Kemokshienu, Nodel Elohenu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkenu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, אתה הוא מלכנו, אתה הוא מושיענו, אתה הוא שהכירו אבותינו, לפניך
את קטורת הסמים. 264, עלינו.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העולם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו, אין עוד, אמת מלכנו, אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וירד היום וישב אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, אין עוד. שמלכות שלך ילמד ימלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 270. We honor the following yard sites on this Shabbat and this upcoming week. Leo Goldstein, Ray Didich, Paula Greenbaum, Marion Corey, William Corey, Sonia Stern, Florence Sulkin, Eva Gordon, Irving Hamer, Jeffrey Michael Kaiserman, Lislot David Koster, Miriam Kreutzig, Evelyn Warren, Florence Burak, Ruth Jacobs, Howard Kaplan, Aaron Schwartz, Elaine Azarin, Arnold Herman, Geraldine Herman, Rosalie Hoffman, Sidney Jablow, Ann Roth, Melvin Zoberman, Rose Cooper, Nico Schloss, Sam Wish, Redding Dalal, David Goodfriend, Isaac Joseph, Bernice Middleman, Aaron Arkin, Sharon Carpin, Sidney Maltz, Linda Ratsky, Charles Starr, Ruth P. Wasserman, Oscar Zussel. And from our ongoing Kaddish list, we remember Bill Brief, Lorraine Schulman, Cynthia Naxon, Tamar Farkas, Seal Pfefferman, Charles Schwartz, Joseph Gitman, Michael Resnick, Clementine Choeg, Kay Dicker, Ethel Sarfati Rath, Harvey Schwartz, Diane Lublin, Rosalind Goldberg, Louis Hillel Saltzman, Faye Fettner, Ricky Hurling, Walter Strauss, Larry Batman, David John Rafe, Leonie Bergman, Iris Levinson, Marcia Klaber, Daniel G. Cedarbaum, Stephen Goldman, Alyssa Bogetz, Frank Gerber, Bonnie Rukin, Rabbi Richard Hirsch, Dorothy Lipstadt, Carolyn Katz, Daniel Litbach Black, the Honorable Howard Carroll. Are there others to add for Kaddish recitation this morning? Harvey? Thank you, Harvey. Thank you. Others? Rabbi. Thank you. Kenneth. Thank you. Thank you. We rise from Mourner's Cottage, page 270. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'alma divra chirutei v'amlich machutei v'chayechon uvyomechon u'chaed echol beit Yisrael ba'gala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lamei amayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitdaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'amad v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemayim v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. O seh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, their memories for blessing. You may be seated as we turn to the cantor for our closing song.
Thank you, Rabbi. Friends, before we conclude with Adon Olam on page 272, I'd like to beg your indulgence to offer a song in honor of Rabbi Brief on this very, very special day for a very, very special rabbi and a very special community. Kaddish the Rabbanan by Debbie Friedman, the rabbinic for our teachers and their students and the students of their students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen, Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen again. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Adon Olam 272.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra v'yek nasa b'chefzo kol azay melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu ole v'hu yeh betifara v'hu echad v'ein sheni v'amshir lo v'achbira b'li reshit b'li tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra v'hu eli v'chai go'ali v'tzur cheli v'yitzara v'hu nisi umanos li menat kosi v'yom ekra v'ya'ado afid ruchi v'yeitishan v'ya'ira v'gim ruchi geliati, Adonai li velo ira.
Kiddush is on page 275, top of 275, Al-Kain.
Al kein berachanu et yom HaShabbat v'yikadshehu savri.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei bria gofen.
Amen.
And shehechianu, let's all rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. L'chaim.
Amen. As Doctors Veronica and George Urban come forward to lead us in a motzi. Remember, when you take your bags outside, which are so nicely set up, you can feel free. We have tables set up, so feel free to schmooze a little bit, look at the tribute book, and let's chat with each other. Veronica and George.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. B'tei avon, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Yes. Good job. Yes.